Good morning. Hi, it's Stacy. We are loving my veteran, and this is walking in my shoes this morning. Coffee. I need to call it loving my veteran and having my coffee this morning is what I need to call it. But just want to say good morning. Hope everyone has had a great day yesterday. Good morning. Great morning today. Got some housekeeping as usual to take care of and do. First of all, want to give a shout out to my dear friends over at Behind the Service Podcast. They have an incredible episode today at Behind the Service Podcast. They are interviewing Boone Cutler. He is just amazing. He is a warrior. He has managed to control PTSD. He created the Spartan Pledge, where we're just not going to let people die. And he's got some controversial, what they call controversial, morning Michelle, controversial things on cannabis and how it treats PTSD. So a great episode. You absolutely do not want to miss Boone Cutler. It's amazing. All right, so going forward, let me just do a little bit of real quick stuff and give people a second to get on. Today we're going to talk about moments and how our life is made of moments. And then we're going to talk about 6 ways things the veterans wanted us to know. Nope. We're going to talk about things we need to know. Moments in our lives and how to take inventory of our moments going forward. Let me just talk real quick about January because I'm super excited about January. January, we're going to kind of theme out our months and get ourselves to a much better place going into January. And the first thing we're going to do in January for us is, the Constitution gives us a Bill of Rights with 10 inalienable rights. We as human beings have 25 inalienable rights, and we all deserve them. Us, our veterans, everybody deserves them. And a few of these are just, we have the right to ask for what we want, so we're going to talk about that going into next month. We have the right to change our mind. That will just be a great episode because I can see that coming forward, especially if a guy's listening. You have the right to follow your own values and your own standards. So that's just kind of a sampling of the 25 of the inalienable rights that we as human beings all have, that we're going to be talking about going into next month. One other thing I really it's on my heart, and we absolutely felt like we had to do it, is we wanted to kind of do a book club, just some reading that we all kind of find. If you've got great reading, y'all forward them to us because we'd like to do them. But we're going to do Lisa Harper's, it's called A Perfect Mess. Why you don't have to worry about being good enough for God. It is literally the book of Psalms that she's taken 12. If you have not ever read Lisa Harper, she is amazing, amazing, amazing. And this just, I think, so fits us when we're talking about some of those things. And on the back it actually says, one of those days when French fries litter the floor of your minivan, when you think bad words about other drivers, when your smile hides an anxious heart, in those moments when you fall short of all you hope to be, what does God see when he looks at you? This is just one of those amazing books that is uplifting. So we're going to do a book club with A Perfect Mess next month. Okay, moments. I kind of got on moments today because this is going to sound strange for y'all. Carl and I stayed up late last night, and when we went to bed, we, laid there, did our thing. We always kiss each other 3 times. It's just one of those things. Said goodnight. A few minutes later, he rolls over, and he gives me this kiss, and he goes, happy anniversary, baby. He waited till 12:01 a.m. to tell me happy anniversary. And I sat back and I really thought about that, and it was weird because when I lay down, I just was kind of like in a space where I wanted to have his arms wrapped around me, and sometimes they can't do that. And when he rolled over and said, happy anniversary, baby, that was like it made everything go away. So those moments that become the good moments. And I tell y'all, I've said this so many times, that our life is made up of moments. We have great moments in our life. We have bad moments in our life. Thank you, Shal. We have moments that we are so depressed we can't go on. We have moments that we are so angry that we just are like, why are we doing this? There are moments that we are happy and overjoyed. And the sad part about that sometimes is when we have these happy and overjoyous moments, something happens just like that and then they go away. But life is a culmination of moments. 2020 has been an interesting year. That's all I'm going to say. I've had so many people say, "Oh, it's been such a negative year. It's been horrible. It's been this. It's been that." The one thing about 2020 is it made us take stock in who we are. It made us take stock in what's important. Sorry, y'all know I have to have a little more coffee. So when we have to take stock in what's important, and you realize that your life the way it was isn't the way it seemed. Sorry, y'all, it's like y'all are looking at the ceiling and I feel like my face there better. It's just not the way it was. And life the way we knew it doesn't exist. And so I think that people have to understand when you go back into 2020 and you look at the things, okay, the things. So let me just tell you a quick rundown of the things, because you can't do walking in my shoes if you don't walk in mine sometimes, because my message doesn't come out. So I'm going to walk in my shoes today. Top of my game, at work January 1st. January 3rd, we go to Disney. Carl, God love him, meets my entire family, one time at Disney in a confined space. All right, so I have my veteran who doesn't do well with crowds, meeting my entire family, brother, sister-in-law, nephew, my oldest son and his girlfriend, my mom. Of course, my youngest son wasn't there. And my oldest son and his girlfriend stayed we had like a little villa with 2 bedrooms, stayed in the room with us. So here's this veteran with all this going on, right? I got sick, life changed, COVID came. We talk about all the negatives. We were cut off, we were this, we were that. And so you hear all the negatives. And the PTSD moments came, and all of a sudden I went from dating a guy with PTSD to being with a guy all the time 24/7 with PTSD, and 24/7 was way worse, because it wasn't like, I'm with him and we both went to work and came home. Nope, 24/7, boom, here we are. And so you look at all the negative, like people couldn't find toilet paper. Don't ask me why, but they couldn't find toilet paper. Only crisis I had was when we couldn't find real butter one day. And I always bought coffee in bulk, so we always had reserve because I wasn't going to be without that. But when I sat back and I look at all the negatives and all the things people talk about, and the politics and the stuff and the people dying and the fight whether or not it's real, and hold on, what is this? Girl, it is not too late now. Oh my gosh. Jenny, I will message you in a little bit, babe. I'm so sorry. Prayers for your dad. And you, it is so, oh my gosh. We'll get with you in a minute. I have an outlet for you. Sorry, Jenny just popped something on here. It was just heartbreaking. So all of this is going on, right? And we're all in these moments of ugh, right? But somewhere in our moments, there's good. Somewhere in our moments, in what seems to be overwhelming, we find the good. And we take those few moments and we look back. And I look back on this year and I'm thinking, God, I've spent a year with him. What the heck? And I look at where we were as to where we are now. And it's amazing what we've overcome. When COVID first started and we were like grounded to everywhere, we sat on the front porch and we had coffee together every morning. Every morning. We had that every morning. And we sat there and we watched the roses grow. And we talked about it every day. And then you watch them open up. And it's those moments. It's those things that we didn't take time for before that now all of a sudden we see. It's the fact that when you don't get to be with other people, you appreciate them more. The fact that TV, because all the shows went into hibernation and whatever, TV didn't control our lives. We had us time. So the moments when you think about the bad, and you think about all the stuff that we go through, and you think about all the junk, the noises, I now call it, when you take those and you sit down and you really look at them, we had great moments. We had great moments. I jumped off of a boathouse this summer for the first time ever. We're at the lake, and there's a platform that you can jump off of at my mom's neighbor's boathouse. And I've been going there for 20 years, and I've wanted to jump off this boathouse forever, and I'm terrified. I am terrified of heights. Scared to death of heights. If my feet are touching something, I'm fine. My feet dangle, I'm done. Terrified of heights. And I made the decision that I was going to jump off this boathouse. And I just wanted to do it so bad. And I got up there, had all the confidence in the world, and I was a lifeguard forever, so don't ask me why my ingenious self still decided I needed a life jacket on, but I had the life jacket on, and I'm going to jump off this boathouse. And I can remember all the confidence and all the, yes, I'm empowered, and my moments getting up there, yes, I'm going to do it. And I walk to the edge and I freeze. So my moment of, yes, I'm empowered, like, oh crap, I'm not empowered. I can't do this today. And at that point, Carl was in the water, and he swam over, and he stayed there, and he looked at me, and he said, you can do this. I'm right here, and I've never let anything happen to you. You can do this. And after a whole lot of breathing and standing there, and I can't, and he looked at me and he said, don't look at anybody else, just hear my voice, and you can do this. And I jumped off the boathouse. In fact, I've jumped off the boathouse like 6 times this summer. I'm so excited. But it was that moment of connection where he said, you can do this, that makes our moments. Yes, we have crappy moments with them. Yes, we have crappy moments in our own life. Yes, we have all of this. But when you take the total sum and you evaluate the good moments, those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments that matter in your life. I can remember going through our journey, and there were times, like, I didn't know what the heck PTSD was. I was a paramedic. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't know what living with it was like, right? And he would get in a spot and sit out in the garage, and he had the thing on. And I've now learned that I can tell by the music he's listening to where his head is. So he's out in the garage, he's having a moment, obviously, because the music is, and he's not real talkative, and he's doing his thing, and I shoot competitive archery, and so took the bow, and I went out, and I was shooting, because that's the way I relieve my stress, and I Robin Hooded an arrow, and I've always said I never wanted to do it, and I guess I kind of lied, because it was really exciting. When you have an arrow and you shoot so accurate that you shoot the other one right into the end of it. And so now you have 2 arrows. But I've always said I never wanted to do it because arrows are expensive for one, and when you Robin Hood one, then you ruin both arrows. But I remember shooting that bow and hearing it, and it made a totally different sound. And Carl, who was in a place, just got up and he said, oh my God, you must have Robin Hooded it. I said, no, I didn't. And he walks over and he says, come here and look. And I looked down, and I had done it, and I was so excited. But the thing is that in his moment with the music loud and in his space, he was paying such attention that I didn't realize that he heard that I Robin Hooded that arrow. And so I think sometimes in these moments we all have of places and sadness and whatever, there is happiness. And they are the little moments that we start to inventory and take assessment of. Those are the things that we get excited about. Michelle sent me a video of her this morning. It was great. Michelle, you know I always talk about you. And Michelle and I have both been in a place, so I'm not lying to anybody. This is public knowledge. And she went to the lake yesterday, to Carter Lake, and there's a video of her, and she says, my happy place. And so no matter what else happened that day, good, bad, or indifferent, Michelle had a moment of happiness standing there in 50-degree weather with Tangy on the leash at the lake, right? So that's where you start to take stock of your moments. And all of a sudden, when you start to do that, you climb out of your darkness. You climb out of your despair. You climb out of the little things. Nikita posted the most, I was like in tears over what she put in the group yesterday on her thing about pondering, and it was Richard and her going to this Christmas party that she'd been all excited about going to, and if you haven't read it, you need to. But it was about her and Richard going to this Christmas party that she'd been all excited about going to, and right before they got ready to leave, he had an episode, not a PT, but he's got other medical problems, and she will explain everything. But anyway, she overcame that and she went, and she took Richard with her. And he's in a wheelchair scooter thing, and he just couldn't get to some of the places. And they had a live nativity scene that they wanted to see. And it was out in the field, out in the pasture, and they knew there was no way his thing was going to get there. And so when she talked to the pastor about it, they had a hayride, and that's how they got him there. The men there literally lifted him up and put him on the bale of hay and sat there next to him and had their arms around him and held him and said, I've got you, it's going to be fine. And they rode out together and they watched this living nativity scene together. And so what I'm going with this is that the moments, if she would have used the 45 minutes before she was supposed to go, you know, she was excited, then there was a 45 minutes before she was supposed to go and Richard had a moment. And if she would have let that moment define her, she wouldn't have had the moment at the nativity scene singing Silent Night with her husband. So it is the good moments that far outshadow the bad. It is the good moments that we need to take stock in. It is the great moments in our life that we tend to do. You know, we've done these letters about the VA, and we've listened to the stories, and they are heartbreaking. And Jenny and I will be talking in just a little bit after this. They're heartbreaking. And yesterday, on my way back from town, I had to go get some firewood and stuff, and on the way back, I had the guy from Disabled American Veterans call me, and he says, hey, we want all your stories. We're going to take them to the VA. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, we assist VAs. And I said, I get that. And he says, but if we get these people, then we can get them in our organization. I said, time out. You guys are very helpful, and you have a very good purpose. And we need you to partner with us and lobby with us for this change. But you're not going to take our veterans and ask them to join your thing. We need to come as a forward voice. So we'll get together later this week, and we'll go forward together. And that was an empowering moment for me. I'm like, we got this. As a group, as a community, that moment. But to have the guy from DC call me and say, hey, what y'all are doing in your moments, not me, what our community is doing in our moments matters. And what you're standing up for your veterans and what their caregivers are going through is starting to get big recognition, and what you're doing matters. And it doesn't matter that we get recognition. What matters is that it's not the same again, that nobody has to experience this the same again. That's what our moments matter. You know, I have a whole new moment matter, and Michelle can dwell on this, when they told her to take a 10 milligram pill and cut it to 7.5 milligrams, okay? Don't ask me how you're supposed to do that. I can't even do that. I mean, what do you like put it on a cheese grater? What do you do to get that little bit off that you don't need, that 2.5 milligrams? What the heck? And so I was like, that's a problem. That is a problem that needs to be addressed now, today. Wilkie will get an email. Michelle and I will be working on this. we'll send it to everybody at every VA till we get an answer to this. I'll take it to the drug regulation people at the FDA. I don't care. But that's what we're going to do. Because that moment of, oh, well, we know there's something and we need to do this, but I need you to take off 2.5 milligrams. How do you do that? So her moment is going to be empowering, and we're going to turn that around. That sad's going to get turned around. That negativity is going to get turned around. Take stock in your moments. We all have them. We know that we have them. We know that as bad as things can be sometimes, there are moments that are just make it worth it. You know, this year we have talked so much about communication and how to get the communication. And I so remember, I know, Tony, that not hysterical. I so remember being early on in some of these support groups, and don't get me wrong, these support groups are amazing and they're strong when we use them for knowledge and empowerment and to create a community and uplift each other. But I can remember being told, run, get out, leave, do it now, it'll never change. And when we started doing the stuff for Loving My Veteran and met with Jeremy and talked and started opening up and really looking at communication and those kind of things, where we've gone from that day in my and Carl's relationship to where we are today is massive. We have found ourselves getting to a point of what would have been an explosive conversation, and him taking a step back and saying, or me taking a step back and saying, I'm sorry, that didn't come out right. That came out bad. And I didn't mean to say what I said was hurtful. And I'll give you, this is the dumbest example, but this was a prime example last night, and it was just kind of weird. I am a peach tea fanatic. I drink Snapple Diet Tea. It is like my favorite thing. That's all I want, but it has to be Diet Snapple. It's hard to find, especially where we are now. So, and I'm one of these strange people who don't like real brewed tea. It's just one of those. It will happen for you, because I'm telling you now, this is so empowering. So I am this person who I don't like real brewed tea. So when we were talking about it, I said something to Carl, and he said, "Well, there's another way to get. I got a way for you to get the peach tea, and it's way less expensive." And I'm like, What? What did you just say? And I was like, okay, I just don't like real tea. And all of a sudden it was like the light switch, the bitch switch flipped on. And don't ask me why I didn't say anything out loud when that bitch switch flipped, but I didn't. But he could tell my body language changed, and he said, "What's got you wound?" And I said, "Nothing." And then I took a deep breath and I sat down so I wasn't above him or yelling. And I said, "Let me tell you why I'm the way I am. When you said less expensive, it hurt my feelings." That's right. Don't mess with my snack. It makes me sad. But I said, when you said less expensive, it hurt my feelings. I said, I might spend $6 a week on Snapple. But what do we spend money on other things? And I didn't say anything else, nothing else. And he said, "Ooh, that really did sound bad, didn't it? I didn't mean for it to come out that way." End of conversation. No, it's the song that never ends, like, as you know, when they beat the dead horse to death. And I said it, he acknowledged it, and we moved on from it. Y'all, that was my victory dance moment, was over the Diet Snapple. Right? That was my victory dance moment over the Diet Snapple. And we have to go to the bigger town tomorrow to get some stuff. And he said, "Baby, we will go to every grocery store in the big town until I find you Diet Snapple, and we'll buy every bottle." Now, here's a guy who doesn't like crowds, doesn't like people. We're talking about the day before Christmas Eve, who has agreed to go to every grocery store in all of Waycross, Georgia, to find me diet snapping. Those are the moments that we take. Those are the moments that we get. This has been a long journey for us to be able to get to that point where he can say, or I can say, ooh, I didn't mean for it to come out that way. I'm sorry I hurt you. I didn't realize what I was doing. Babe, I'm sorry. I didn't realize what I was doing was putting you down. I didn't mean to. Girl, we gotta be talking about these people in Georgia that can't be messing with our Snapple. That's a Georgia staple, okay? They may have founded Coca-Cola in Georgia, but Snapple is like the thing down here. I'm just saying. And they always have great messages under the lids. But where I'm going is, in this year, I've sat down this morning and I started to take account of my moments with him. I started to look at my moments in this journey with him. I've sat back and I've taken inventory of my moments. And what I have found is that in this year, there have been some truly amazing moments. Truly amazing moments. And that's the victories that we celebrate. And when we did last night over a freaking Snapple, and he said, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. That came out wrong. I'm sorry. And I was not afraid to tell him what bothered me because I was afraid of the snap that we would have had a year ago. That inventory of my moments was worth it. And that's where all of y'all can get. They seem insurmountable. It's the little changes. If I would have gone into Carl DeMuth and I would have said to him, baby, on day one, you've got to change this, and this, and I don't like it when you do this, and this, right? And I would have said that day one, he would have shut down, nothing would have gotten accomplished. But when I started making changes in the way I understood and comprehended PTSD and what it did, and he was instrumental at teaching me how to break apart and separate PTSD moments from relationship moments. And when he started helping me do that, and then we started realizing that our relationship needed work too, not just the PTSD moments, when we started putting that whole picture together, and it came literally from a conversation I had with him on the porch one morning over coffee, and I said, I love you. And what is one thing that I do that triggers you? So I can change that. That's where it started. To the point that we are making sure at 12:01 he can tell me happy anniversary. Making sure that he says to me, I'm sorry, that came across wrong. Making sure that I can look at him and say, stop saying you're sorry for everything. You have a right to feel like you do. Grilled cheese sandwich moment. I know this is going to sound strange. I told you this was about me today. Sorry. Carl is emphatic about saying, I've got two legs, I can do it. Always. I mean, he gets really uptight if I do things. So lunchtime came yesterday, and I said, what are we having for lunch? And he's like, I don't know. And I said, well, hey, I'm going to fix a grilled cheese sandwich. You want me to fix you one? And he says, I can do it. I have two legs. And this time period is a date period for him. And I went over and I looked at him and I stood beside him because I've learned now that if I put my arms like this where I'm trapping him into something, it's horrible. Okay? Yeah. Shannon, you're very right. But I know that if he's sitting on the couch and I put my arm on the back of the couch and on the arm of the couch, he feels trapped and we're done. But I went in beside him and I looked down and I said, you know what? Making a sandwich is not the end of the world. And I love you. And I know you're going through something right now. And you have to allow me to love you. And I got this. And the tears welled up. And I said, what? He said, nobody's ever loved me like that. And I made a sandwich and we sat on and ate it. But where I'm getting is, it's the moments. It's how we do it. So Shannon said, hope we can get there. Mine hasn't gotten past you know what. And what I meant. Sorry, it's awful hard to know what you mean when your tone, body language, and your word. It does. And Shannon, you can get past that. You can get past that. That will come. No, Mr. Haas, you need to go back in there for 2 minutes.
Pause.
The lab that we're fostering. Beautiful. My son's lab. But what I'm saying is, collect your moments. Enjoy your victories. We are so looking forward to, what this group started out as in July, what this group started out as was just me venting and starting to type some positive stuff. Yeah, got tough. Actions and words. And we need to really discuss that. Y'all, maybe we will discuss that tomorrow. That's a great tomorrow topic. Their actions, their body language, and their words are different. If y'all are good with that, we will discuss that tomorrow. I just think that's a great thing. I'll write it down right now. We'll take care of that. But we've come so far. We've come so far as a community. Right? That's where we are. We started out with nothing, with nobody, with no followers, no friends, no community, no whatever. And look at where as a community we've come and connected and grown to. That, we're going to DC to share these issues. We are empowering each other every day because you do it to me every single day. And I cannot share that with you enough. But if we can do that in a few months, and I take the guy who I couldn't communicate with, that was so difficult to communicate with, who now can stop and say, I'm going to buy you every Snapple I can find. I know that's not a big deal to those of you who don't understand the Snapple addiction, but that's a big deal to us in Georgia. It's a big deal. That's the empowering moments that we deal with. And yes, body language is a big issue. And we will really talk about that tomorrow because I learned a lot about his body language. And he did interrogation, so that makes it like 10 times worse. God forbid I cross my legs or my fingers or I fidget when we're having a conversation because to him it's interrogation mode. And I'm like, stop interrogating me and just listen. And we've even gotten past that now. Doesn't mean we won't revert back at times, but for the most part, we've gotten past that. So take your days, take your moments, celebrate your victories. This has been an amazing year for me, even with all the crap that's been thrown in my lap. I cannot imagine one day without walking with him. Not one day. Not one day without walking with him. And yes, woke you up gently with a kiss and made your coffee. Girl, that's your victory for the month. That's your Christmas present all wrapped up with a bow on it. Michelle's. I love you, Michelle. But it's the little moments that we take. Enjoy them. Take inventory of them. Now, take that. We all say, what's he getting me for Christmas? Girl, y'all take that Write your victories down, write your good moments down for the year, and put that in your own stocking. And I promise you, you'll sit there and reread it, and you're going to realize what a gift you have. All right, that's kind of all I have. We are so far behind in stuff we have planned, and there's so much stuff going on. Perfect Mess, you can get it on Amazon. It is available on Kindle. We will start it the first of the year. It is 12 really easy to read chapters because it is all based out of the Psalms. And Lisa Harper is just an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. And when you have chapters like Tumbling Towards Approval, that's just all about me. You know, the love story. What is the rest of them? Yeah, I love this one. Fanatic isn't a spiritual fruit. And Stop Watching Your Feet and Just Dance. Those are the chapters that are in here. Great. We're going to talk about the 25. Girl, it's recorded. We talked about you and your Richard. You got babies and Richard. If you even breathe in the morning, I don't know how Nakia gets you every day. The 25 rights that we have, that every human being has, that aren't even in the Constitution. They are just rights that we have. Again, I talked about a few of them. So we have the right to make a mistake and not have to be perfect. Those are coming out in January. The book is called A Perfect Mess. It's by Lisa Harper. Lisa is amazing. I'll put pictures on the stuff. But when we start talking about these rights, you know, you have the right to make decision based on your feelings. That's going to be a great January coming up with our 25 rights that we have to live by. I cannot wait. If you have, the newsletter is so packed, and I keep adding to it. If you have not subscribed to the website, to the newsletter, do that. I will put that out. Again, Jenny, let me just get you in here real quick. Jenny, we're going to send you a message, sweetheart. Prayers are with Jenny this morning. I'm just going to send you a message real quick so that way I can have it. It'll stay in here. So I can send her a message. Y'all, please keep Jenny in your prayers. I know that Judy has had surgery, so keep her in your prayers as well. She's recovering from that. Just a great group of people. So I love y'all. I know this runs late. We need to make it like 40 minutes of walking in my shoes. I want to keep it 30, and then when it runs to 40, it's not a big deal. Y'all have a blessed day. I am really, like I said, the website will be totally revamped coming into January with lots more information. We have some great resources. Y'all check out Circle of Arms. They help with mental health issues. We're going to do some partnering stuff with them. They really do well with mental health awareness. They're an amazing group. And if you have not done listen to Behind the Service podcast with Boone Cutler today, it'll be available on iTunes, Spotify, all those great things, iHeartRadio. Just go to Behind the Service podcast and listen to the Boone Cutler show. It is phenomenal. I love Boone Cutler. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.